The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zixthor of the Vendali Empire entered, his crystalline carapace clicking against the polished floor. He carried himself with the arrogance of a species that had conquered 47 star systems in the past century. Behind him, his security detail marched in perfect formation. Lisa Chen sat motionless at the human delegation table, her dark eyes fixed on the alien ambassador. Beside her, James Rodriguez gripped the armrest of his chair so tightly his knuckles had turned white. "The Vendali Empire," Zixthor announced, his translator rendering his chittering voice into cold mechanical standard, "demands reparations for the destruction of our mining facility on Kepler 442b. The humans stationed there resisted lawful Vendali expansion with unprecedented violence." Council Speaker Talmara, a towering being of liquid silver, gestured for the human response. Lisa stood slowly, her small frame dwarfed by the massive alien dignitaries surrounding her. "The facility you mention," Lisa began, her voice steady despite the tremor James could see in her hands, "was built on a human colony world, a world where 300 families had lived for 12 years. Inhabited by primitives who lacked the technology to properly exploit the system's resources," Zixthor interrupted. "The Vendali improvement of such worlds is recognized under Section 47 of You Killed Children." James's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. The room erupted in confused murmurs. Several species present had no concept of human developmental stages. Others knew but didn't understand why it mattered. Zixthor's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "We eliminated obstacles to progress. Some of these obstacles were, as you say, smaller than others. This is irrelevant to our claim." Lisa's jaw tightened. She pulled up a holographic display and images filled the air above the council floor. A small settlement, prefabricated homes, a school building with colorful murals painted on its walls. Then the after images. Scorched earth, collapsed structures, small bodies being carried by weeping parents. 47 children, Lisa said quietly, ages 3 to 14. They were in their school when your forces opened fire. You didn't even give them a chance to evacuate. "They were present in the designated mining zone," Zixthor replied with what seemed like genuine confusion. "We announced our intentions 3 cycles in advance. Any remaining organisms chose to forfeit their existence." James stood abruptly. 3 cycles in your time means 18 hours for us. 18 hours to evacuate an entire colony across a planet with 2 transport ships. Poor planning on your species' part is not the Vendali concern." The chamber remained quiet, waiting for the human response. Most species in the Galactic Council had encountered humanity only recently. They were small, weak, short-lived creatures from a modest yellow star. They had no great fleets, no devastating weapons, no psychic powers or advanced technology that could rival the elder races. Lisa looked at James, and something passed between them, a silent understanding that made several empathic species in the chamber shift uncomfortably. "Ambassador Zixthor," Lisa said, her voice now carrying an edge that made the translator struggle to render the emotion properly, "you need to understand something fundamental about humanity. We are not a warrior race. We didn't evolve with claws or carapaces or natural weapons. We're not the strongest or the fastest. We're not even particularly impressive by galactic standards." She took a step toward the Vendali ambassador. "But we protect our children. It's not a cultural value or a legal framework. It's written into the deepest part of what we are. It's more fundamental than our language, our governments, or our religions. Every human, regardless of where they come from or what they believe, shares this one absolute truth. You do not harm our children." Zixthor's translator emitted a sound approximating laughter. "You threaten the Vendali Empire? You who possess fewer than 200 military vessels? We have conquered species with 10 times your numbers and 100 times your technology." James pulled up another display. Video feeds, news broadcasts, social media streams from Earth and every human colony. The images showed something the Council had never witnessed before. Humanity mobilizing. Not government mobilization, that was expected. This was different. Factories that produced civilian goods were being voluntarily converted. Retirement-age veterans were reporting to recruitment centers. Scientists were abandoning research projects to work on military applications. Colony ships were being retrofitted as troop transports. This started 3 hours after news of the massacre reached Earth, James explained. No government ordered it. No law required it. 30 billion humans simply decided what needed to be done. On the display, a grandmother was interviewed outside a factory, her arms covered in industrial lubricant. "Those were children," she said to the camera, tears streaming down her weathered face. "Someone's babies. We won't let this stand." "You've made a fundamental miscalculation, Ambassador," Lisa continued. "You assumed we would approach this as a legal dispute. File complaints. Seek mediation. Maybe impose sanctions." She locked eyes with the alien creature, and for the first time Zixthor's posture shifted slightly. "But you didn't commit a legal violation against humanity. You committed a sin, and we don't negotiate with those who hurt our children. We don't mediate. We don't forgive." The council chamber's environmental systems struggled to compensate as the temperature seemed to drop. James brought up a final image, a star map showing human-controlled space. Then, like blood spreading through water, red markers began appearing. Ships, thousands of them, all moving toward Vendali territory. "We're not coming for reparations," James said quietly. "We're not coming to take territory or resources. We're coming because you need to learn the lesson every species eventually learns about humanity." Lisa's voice carried through the chamber with absolute certainty. "We are not a warrior race. We don't want to be conquerors. We want to explore and learn and grow. But when you threaten what we love most, when you hurt our children, we become something else entirely. We become what we had to be to survive on a planet that tried to kill us for 1,000,000 years. We become the persistence predators who chased prey until it died of exhaustion. We become the creatures who looked at death and said, 'Not today.'" Ambassador Zixthor's translator remained silent for a long moment before he finally spoke. "You would start a war over 47 organisms? The Vendali Empire will crush you." "Perhaps," Lisa acknowledged, "but you'll remember the price. And when other species ask why the mighty Vendali Empire was brought to its knees, the answer will echo through every star system in this galaxy. They hurt human children." The Galactic Council would later mark this moment as the beginning of the Vendali Human War. It would last 3 years. The Vendali Empire would survive, but it would never recover its former strength. And across the galaxy, a new understanding would emerge about the small, seemingly weak species from Sol III. Humanity could be reasoned with, traded with, befriended. But there was one absolute line that could never be crossed. The children were untouchable, always.